good evening, everyone. How are you tonight? How are you tonight? Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. My name is Urs Gasser. I'm with the Berkman Center, and I'm also on the law school faculty here. I have the great pleasure to serve as your MC tonight, and really fortunate to welcome you to this special event, to this special evening. As you will see, tonight we will make the impossible possible, or is it actually the other way around, the possible impossible? In any event, I'm really delighted to host the US launch of impossible.com and thrilled to welcome Lily Cole, the founder of impossible.com, and her team here on campus. We'll hear in a minute more about this new social network for giving and receiving for free. So it's promising to be a really interesting, exciting evening. To give you a quick overview of the program, we'll start with an introductory video, relatively short, to give us a basic idea of what Impossible is about. Lily will then add context to that and some background. We'll have a little demo by her team. We'll have time for a few quick questions, clarification questions, and we'll then segue into a panel with a number of wonderful panelists. I will introduce the panel later on, and talk about not only the platform that we're going to launch tonight here in the US, but also more broadly about some of the core issues that the platform raises and broader societal questions around gift economy and sharing, norms of reciprocity and the like. So this will be an interesting conversation with the panel, but of course all of you are invited to participate in the question and answer session as well. We have microphones to circulate. I should also say that this evening will be recorded and the video posted to the Berkman website, so be careful what you're saying. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to tweet about the event, please use do you prefer the hashtag impossible or @impossible? @impossible. So that's the way how to tweet about tonight. I think that's all I have to say in terms of housekeeping, right? Anything else? No? Good. With that, again, a very warm welcome, and here is our introductory video. And I'm sorry that the video doesn't play. I really want to introduce you properly, but please stay here. So Lily Cole is as you know, a world-famous fashion model. She's an actress. She's a social entrepreneur. And if I may add to this already impressive list, she's also wicked smart, as you will hear in just a minute. It's a real gift, actually, to have you here tonight with us, and thanks so much for giving the Berkman community the opportunity to host you and your team. We're really thrilled to participate in your latest project, and we're eager to hear all about it. So thanks for being here.
I just want to say thank you, first and foremost. I feel very honoured to be here, and I feel very honoured by the brilliant speakers I've got joining us tonight. And I'm going to try and explain a little bit about what we're doing, and then I'm going to try and shut up for the rest of the evening and learn from these guys. So I'll start by saying there's seems to be, I guess, quite a conflict in some of the words he uses, like model and actress and social entrepreneur, it would seem, maybe. But interestingly, my background working in fashion, I started working in fashion 12 years ago now, led me increasingly to the understanding that I saw economics as one of the most powerful languages that we speak internationally, and that has social implications and environmental implications. I was working for different charities over a few years and simultaneously working for different companies. And I increasingly felt that unless we look at production chains, unless we look at businesses, the ones that you might advertise for or that you might buy into, we are going to continue to have social environmental issues that then charity will need to mitigate. And so I started channeling my energy into working with companies that talked about transparency and tried to have socially and environmentally responsible production chains. Founded a company in England on those terms, and still to this day try and think through that remit. Now that's looking at the monetary prism that we're in for the most part. And then 3 years ago, I was with a friend, had a conversation that gave birth to an idea which preceded my understanding of the gift economy, but led me to research the gift economy and learn about alternative economic ideas. And I found the gift economy to be really, really fascinating. From my perspective of it, the most fundamental difference between the gift economy and what I think predominates today, which is exchange paradigms, is based around reciprocity and the idea that reciprocity might be generalized as opposed to direct. So rather than A gives to B because B gives something back to A, often money, could be bartered, could be something in a different kind. What about A gives to B? Trusting that firstly, B might need it, and A can, for that reason, and trusting that B might give to C, C might give to D, and one day D might give back to A. And if you have a structure or a society or a network or a world where everyone is giving and receiving, inevitably everyone will give and receive, and there will inevitably be a return. It just won't necessarily be direct. And it's very interesting when you think about what the social implications are of that different equation, and the research that's been done looking at societies, often pre-capitalist, arguably in different measures in our own societies today where the gift economy exists, and the social equations that it structures and sets up, the idea that it creates subtle relationships between the individuals. Imagine everybody in this room was there to support you. Like, if you needed anything, had your back. Like, imagine that was everybody in Boston. Imagine if that was everybody in the States. Imagine if everybody in the world you knew would support you if you needed it, would answer your needs if you needed something answered. And the small price to pay is that where you see the opportunity to help another, you can, and you do. I think that's the kind of world that I personally would love to feel more of a part of. And so this kind of slightly crazy venture I've been on with Impossible is saying, can we think about that? Like, can we think about value, and can we think about our relationships with one another? Can we propose an idea that we might do things for one another without an obvious sense of return, and encourage and facilitate maybe a bit more of that through technology? And so we've built an app and we've built a website, which I'll explain a little bit about right now. I'm not here to pitch an app or a website. The more people who join it, the more great that community will be, but really I'm talking about the ideas that are kind of behind it, above it, outside of it, and it's not about this one structure. But we've done our best job at thinking about how can technology show up the possibilities so that they can maybe trigger A to help B. Because sometimes you don't know B, sometimes you didn't know B actually needed something that you might have or needed some help with something that you could do. So that's the point of this. What we have done is we've created a social network. So like most social networks, you have a profile, which is public, and shows your wishes, which are things that can work both ways, so things you can offer up to the community and things that you can ask the community for. So it's written in a very free text way, like a tweet, so it's kind of open-ended how people use it. A lot of people have been using it for skills, service-orientated stuff. It could also be advice, it could be products. The only premise is that it's all non-monetary. And then saying thank you is the thought process behind that was to create an abundant currency. So reflect what's happening on the system without potentially quantifying it and making it go into an exchange modality. So you can say thank you as much as you want, and then that's always there in your profile and public. So here's in a stream. You can see content that's close to you, so based on location. So you're seeing neighbors' content. You can see people you follow, so existing social graphs. I could follow my people I follow on Twitter, people I follow on Facebook, etc. And we used hashtagging content to also, there's no example actually there, but to if I wanted to look up music-related content, I could click a hashtag music and find anything posted nearby to do with music. We included this one because somebody posted that in Boston yesterday, so I thought it was quite nice. And then here's an example of one being fulfilled. So I actually know this man, Ron Garan. He's an astronaut. I wish you could see the picture at the end because it's a picture he took of space, which is quite cool. But he posted a wish from Texas to get a girl to go to visit Japan, who through, I think it was Make-A-Wish Foundation, and it ended up being that he needed air miles. A couple of us donated collectively air miles. The girl's wish is fulfilled, and he posted a thank you. And then these are examples of people posting thanks on the network, which again, as I say, is a kind of playful subversion of the idea of currency. It doesn't really mean anything. It just means if you go to someone's profile, you can kind of see all the things that they've done and said thank you for. And then that's a screen grab this morning of a bunch of things that people had posted, mostly in London, because we did promotion at the end of last year in London, and so most of our community are UK-based. We do have people around the world. And the final thing I'll say, especially before we bring these panelists up, is that when you look up the gift economy, one of the examples, interestingly, is the internet and open source technology, and how open source software is arguably a gift economy of sorts. And I think it's really interesting that at least how I understand it, the internet's kind of revived, at least in dialogue and in examples, the idea of the gift economy and kind of how it can mean, what it can mean for us in a contemporary context. And not only demonstrated it, it actively demonstrates it through the web itself, then through platforms like Wikipedia, through the GitHub community or Linux community, but also shows, I think, the cumulative value that we all take from that actually by not being closed in silos, we all receive more from that by kind of opening and sharing, there is a greater cumulative benefit for everyone. So it actually, I would argue, doesn't suggest that giving becomes selfless. It suggests actually it's a very kind of self-rewarding mechanism. And so, yeah, I think it'd be very interesting to think about the broader possibilities that the internet can offer in the landscape of which we're exploring a small part of.